LOL take two. LOL take two. LOL take two. Now listen. When I was growing up back in Urbandale, Iowa, I had the best piano teacher in the entire world. Her name was Thelma Clark, and she was great. She did it all. She taught Bach, she taught Beethoven, she taught the Bee Gees. But the best thing Thelma Clark did was she encouraged absolute and total creativity. I mean, every single weird idea I had was met with, "Well, Tony, that is neat." And trust me, every single idea I had was pretty weird. See, I was a hideous 13-year-old mess, and one of my creative projects was a horribly depressing song I had written called Escape. Surprisingly, it was about this hideous 13-year-old mess who gets ticked off at his parents and ends it all by jumping off of a bridge. I felt it exemplified the plight of teenagers everywhere. Anyway, I played it for Thelma Clark, and God love her, she grinned at me with her huge teeth, and she said, "Well, Tony, that is neat." I was delighted. Acceptance at last. Well, it was finally time for Thelma Clark's annual piano recital. Now, most teachers rented out the Legion Hall or Lions Park Shelter House, but Thelma was a thrifty gal, and she had it right there in her living room. She squeezed 20 brats and their parents onto folding chairs, ottomans, couches, and we each got up and played something that we had memorized. My piece that I had memorized that year was Fur-Elise by Beethoven. You know that song. Well, it was my turn to perform, so I got up in my little Sears husky jeans suit with a little polyester tie, and I sat down at the piano. I looked out at the crowd, and there they all were, like grimacing sardines just waiting for me to screw up. I looked over at Thelma Clark, and she was smiling at me lovingly. She nodded for me to begin. I started playing. I thought it was going well. Oops. I started again. Oh my God. For the life of me, I could not remember that stupid song. I looked out at the crowd. Their fangs were growing. They were getting ready to chew me up until there'd be nothing left but a little clip-on tie. I glanced over at Thelma, panicking, and God love her, Thelma got up and she said, "Tony's going to do this song he wrote himself. Tony, why don't you perform that Escape song?" Oh my God, she wanted me to perform my song. Oh my God, she wanted me to perform my song in front of my parents, who were the major antagonists of the piece. I knew that if my father heard me sing that song, that next year I would have an in memoriam page in the Urbandale Junior High School yearbook. Of course, my only other option was to screw up Fur-Elise again and have Beethoven rise up from the grave to chop off my hands. So I did it. I played and sang about the angst, the frustration, and the general wretchedness of being 13. Pressures mount, my parents yell. Get those grades or you'll go to hell. I show up for life, but I'm too late. Like a dead deer on the interstate. I've got to escape, escape, escape. Like a bird that's shot with a hunter's gun. I got an F, it's time to run. I've overdosed on Oxy 10. I'll jump off that bridge, I'll show them then. I've got to escape, escape, escape. It was over, and there was total silence in the room. I didn't dare look out, but then Thelma Clark, that wonderful woman, got up and she started clapping, and she said, "Well, Tony, that is neat." And everybody started clapping, and I looked out, and everyone was in tears. All the parents were hugging the little miniature versions of themselves. My parents, they were clapping the loudest of all. They had no idea the song was about them. After the recital, my folks took me out to Ponderosa Steakhouse for a ribeye steak dinner and lime green Jell-O Cool Whip dessert that I'll never forget. Thank you, Thelma Clark. I couldn't have asked for a better piano teacher.
LOL take two. LOL take two. LOL take two.